Okay, it has been announced since we've been on air that Hull City have appointed their new head coach, Shota Arveladze. Look, we've frankly known about it since the weekend, but they've gone very, very slowly with all the announcements. Have Hull, haven't they? We had the takeover, I think, last Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe. The first game was on the Wednesday, weren't they? Then the good result at the weekend. Then the firing of Grant McCann. Don't worry about that in this video. I've done another video on that. So if you do want to comment on that, that's probably the place. Because frankly, it's been, gone, happened. And we knew that the preferred choice was Shota Arveladze. If you remember, the statement from Hull did say, our new manager will be announced shortly. It didn't say, we will now begin the process of looking for a new manager. We will leave no stone unturned, blah, blah, blah. This will be a long process. No, it said our new manager will be announced shortly. And this was the name that came out in the wash. Shota Arveladze, who was a great striker, actually, back in the day for Ajax and Glasgow Rangers. We'll get his Wikipedia up, but in fact, I've got it on the screen. 258 club goals and 26 international goals. I think that classes as a goal machine, doesn't it? Brilliant stuff there. So let's read from the statement and get your comments on anything I say, and I'll chip in with my opinions. Hull are delighted to announce the appointment of Shota Arveladze, 2.5-year deal. So it'll take him to the end of 21-22, and then the next two seasons, 22-23 and 23-24, is how long that contract lasts for. 48 years old, manager, 300 games with 5 clubs in 3 different countries, boasting a win percentage of over 50%. That is fantastic. And I don't want to pee on anybody's strawberries here, but we heard exactly the same thing about Vladimir Ivic, who had that ungodly win percentage, didn't he, in Israel? And where else did he manage? Ivic? Greece, I think? Can't remember. But anyway, hey, different person. I'm just giving a comparison there. Last managerial post came in Uzbekistan. Interesting. What's everybody's favourite Uzbekistani team then? It's right over my head, that one for sure. Where he was appointed by the same ownership group as Everton. During his 3-year spell, Arveladze won 5 trophies. Fine. He was very good in Uzbekistan. He's also managed in Turkey. Okay, that's a bit more meat on the bone. And Israel, very much like Vladimir Ivic then, Maccabi Tel Aviv. Coached in Holland alongside Louis van Gaal, Ronald Koeman, and Dick Advocaat. Okay, there's some pretty good name drops. I'll give you that one. Georgia's all-time leading scorer. Do you remember Georgie Kinclardsey? What a player he was as well. Same time, lifted the title in Scotland with Rangers and in Holland with Ajax. And there's some quotes here from Shota Arveladze. I want to say thank you to everyone who's given me this opportunity. I believe everyone who's in this sector in football wants to be in England, and I'm happy with the young talents we have. We have parts of the team where we were creative, talented parts with experience. It's a good mix. I like attractive football, don't we all? When supporters are on your side, hint. Sorry, where am I reading from? They want to come. They love to come and watch the game. It's great to have this game, Swansea City, as soon as possible. I'm really looking forward to being here to meet the supporters. We're going to try our best to show really good football, attacking football. The main target is always going to be to win. The fans have come to come and cheer for the club they love, and the boys. We have great players. Let's do this. Let's cheer together and let's win together. Okay, fine. Look, let's be quite frank. When we get a manager that's come into the Championship, and I don't want to sound like, oh, this is our league. You don't know our league until you've worked on it. But that's kind of the point I'm making. We just don't know, do we? We've seen managers come in from foreign climes, and I'm talking about, I don't know, Veljko Paunovic last season to Reading. I'd never heard of him. Never heard of half the Barnsley managers, although that seemed to be very direct into the Red Bull Group and the Austrian League. I'd never heard of Poya Asbaghi, the current manager there. We already mentioned Vladimir Ivic at Watford, who seems he's even got the Israel link here. I suppose what this guy Arveladze has is this great pedigree as a player in terms of being an Ajax player, and playing in Britain, I suppose, for Glasgow Rangers is, I suppose, more, well, less of degrees of separation than maybe some of the names that have come into the Championship. But it's not an unusual hire, and we believe he is linked fairly well with the new Turkish ownership there. 48 years old as well. We've seen people like, I think, Struber and Isbaghi and the Barnsley lot, Ismail, even people like Daniel Farker, when he came into Norwich, David Wagner were a bit younger than that. I'm trying to think, possibly not all of them, but not exactly that profile because of his excellent playing caliber. But look, we all can probably name 10 great players or very good players or excellent players that didn't go on to make great managers, despite working with, incredibly. I always bring up David Platt. Think of the managers David Platt played under, and he never really worked out. He was more an assistant manager, wasn't he? So you never know. You never know. In terms of Hull, I don't know whether they're going to do anything else in the remaining sort of 4 or 5 days of the window. In terms of the squad, is it immediately going to shoot up the league with that squad? I mean, look, we like Greaves and Honeyman's very good, and Lewis Potter as well on the wing. Bernard's a good loanee, backs to the keeper. So there's something there, but do I see a new manager coming in and taking that group of players immediately up the table? Not really, no. But he might be a really good new manager. You never know. He might do that, and we might all sit here and go, "Oh, that Arveladze, he got a tune. He was much better than Grant McCann, wasn't he?" So proof as ever is going to be in the pudding. What I will say, and I don't want to get too down the road of the McCann sacking. We've dealt with that in the other video, and I very much think two things can be true there. Yes, it is a bit ruthless and a bit tough on McCann. That is true, but it's also true that me, you, I, everyone have to kind of respect if somebody buys something, they can put their own people in charge. And it sucks for the guy who's in there already and gets the boot, but it is what it is. And I do respect anyone who buys a football club, a house, a car. You can buy the most beautiful vintage car in the world if you want and stick a stupid spoiler and furry dice, and it's up to you. That's your right, and I do respect that. Of course, there is that 10-point gap. 9-point gap. I must have spoken about this previously before Peterborough got their recent point. But I don't really see the teams down there all zooming past Hull, especially with a 10-point gap. 9-point gap is the one that we're most concerned with. So look, I'll say what I always say. Good luck to Shota Arveladze. What he's got to replicate from Grant McCann this season is a point per game. It's 29 from 27, so just over. And you know me, 45 to survive. I think it'll be lower than that this season, won't it? So if Hull are around 47, 48 points by the end of the season, 2 above a point per game, that's par, isn't it? Because that's what McCann did. And he might get a couple of extra players. We should, of course, take into account a bedding in period. But again, that then comes back into the conversation with owners. If you choose in the middle of the season in the transfer window to immediately switch the manager, you can't really complain about a lack of a bedding in period, can you? So maybe park that observation to one side. So I wish him luck. I don't know where McCann would have taken Hull. It's impossible to say, because where would McCann have taken Hull under the alarms, and where would he have taken them under the new ownership? And was his name too firmly attached to the old ownership? I don't know. It's a tricky one. It's a new broom. Good luck to Arveladze. Big reputation as a player. I'm sure we'll get some friends from Glasgow Rangers now interested when we're making videos about Hull, because that's the size of that club. And we'll see how it pans out. I don't expect they're going to go down. I don't think they will. Famous last words there. And we'll see how he does. And if he's around that 46 to 48 point mark, he's fine. And then he gets the close season, and we'll put some meat on the bone there. Let's read your comments on Hull City.